moments of summer. From sea to sea, in the country, in the city, in the north and the south, we celebrate the acts of Jefferson, Adams, Franklin, and Washington. We unite with our friends and family each 4th of July and enjoy the fireworks. Let's get cracking.
George Springer, what a monster cross to center field. Deep drive, Singleton, upper deck. There's a deep drive to right field. That ball will win it for Houston.
Tonight from Angel Stadium in Anaheim, California, the Astros try to set things right in a battle of left-handers. It's Dallas Keuchel versus C.J. Wilson. Hi, everybody. Alan Ashby and Jeff Blum with you tonight. And a very happy 4th of July. We want to make sure and send your way. It's fitting tonight, Blummer, that Dallas Keuchel goes to the mound for the Astros. The ace of the staff, a guy who's missed a start now and coming back and trying to be strong again.
Yeah, some left wrist inflammation that Dallas Keuchel is having. He's had a couple of starts off. Now he's going to make that start here in Anaheim against another left-hander in C.J. Wilson. You see Dallas Keuchel's numbers, having himself a great year on the road. He's doing a little bit better, 6-2 on the road in his last 8 starts, has 49 Ks, that ERA around 2.35, had himself a pretty good start last time he was here in Anaheim. We'll talk about that later. But I expect him to be fully healthy, threw a lot of innings, a lot of pitches, so he should be raring to go today here in Anaheim.
Coming up, we'll see if the fireworks continue to come off the bat of Jose Altuve. The Astros battle the Angels right after this.
When you look around, wouldn't you consider it privilege to associate yourself with such a fine-looking man as is standing in uniform in this ballpark today?
Head to Jack in the Box for the new Jalapeno Ranch or Barbecue Ultimate Cheeseburgers at participating restaurants. And by AT&T Uverse TV. Find out what's possible with AT&T. Call 1-800-PIC-ATT. Mobilizing your world. We are in beautiful Anaheim, California. And it's a gorgeous day once again, as was yesterday. This is the second game of this 4-game series. The Astros and the Angels. It's game 12 of the 19 on the season series, and the Angels have won 7 of the first 11 and laid it to the Astros last night.
Got a moment in history for you, brought to you by MD Anderson. They are making cancer history on July 4th, 1939. It was Lou Gehrig Appreciation Day at Yankee Stadium as the Iron Horses uniform number 4 was retired.
Today, I consider myself the luckiest man on the face of the earth. When you look around, wouldn't you consider it privilege to associate yourself with such a fine-looking man as is standing in uniform in this ballpark today?
And the Iron Horse, Lou Gehrig, 75th anniversary of that great farewell speech, made at Yankee Stadium. Had his debut in June 15th, 1923. Final game, 1939, April 30th. What's really interesting, at least for me, is that speech that we're all so familiar with. July 4th of 1939. It was less than 2 years later that Lou Gehrig would pass away from ALS, June 2nd of 1941. And what an amazing player and human being, obviously, he was, Blummer.
Yeah, the numbers he put up. But that actually caught me off guard reading when his final game was, and then the bottom line when he passed away less than 2 years later. But yeah, really set the benchmark in games played and how to go about playing the game, and then brought to light this terrible disease that affected him. And baseball's done a great job of bringing awareness to people around the world through baseball.
Major League Baseball and its 30 clubs are paying special tribute to the Hall of Famer Lou Gehrig on the 75th anniversary of his iconic Luckiest Man speech by joining forces with ALS organizations to raise awareness for the disease, otherwise known as Lou Gehrig's disease. And Major League Baseball has donated $300,000 to 4 organizations leading the fight against the disease: ALS Association, ALS TDI, MDA, and Project ALS, and are encouraging fans to donate via a specially dedicated site found on MLBcommunity.org. So all the players involved in this very special day, and patches on the uniforms worn by both sides here this evening. You see Jose Altuve and everybody else, of course, with the Astros wearing that patch. Very special day around Major League Baseball and, of course, around the country. 4th of July, and we hope you're all enjoying it back home and have a chance to sit in with us throughout the evening and enjoy our ball game tonight. And a couple of good left-handers going at it this evening. The Angels have taken the field now. C.J. Wilson getting set to deliver his first warm-up toss here of the evening. And our lineup brought to you by Jack in the Box, the Astros lineup here tonight. That lineup, top of the order, Jose Altuve is at second base. He'll be followed by shortstop tonight, Enrique Quique Hernandez, and in center, George Springer. So a little different look at the top of the order. Middle 3, third baseman Matt Dominguez. Chris Carter is the DH tonight, and John Singleton at first. And the bottom 3, doing the catching, Carlos Corporon. In right field, Domingo Santana, and L.J. Hose gets a start in left.
On the mound for the Anaheim Angels, it's going to be C.J. Wilson, left-hander. Going to be making his 19th start of the season, his 9th at home. And you see those numbers at home. He likes pitching here, undefeated in those 6 wins, 2.49 ERA, doing a great job. Changeup, curveball, cutter, fastball, slider. He's got a multitude of pitches, likes to throw him quite a bit. Had himself a rough June where he went 2-2 with a 5.97 ERA. The Astros looking to take advantage of those high numbers from C.J. Wilson here in his first start in July. Defense behind C.J. Wilson on this 4th of July evening game is going to be Josh Hamilton in left, Mike Trout in center, Colin Cowgill in right field, around the infield. It's going to be David Freese at third, Eric Ibar at short, Howie Kendrick at second base, C.J. Cron at first base, and Chris Iannetta behind home plate working with C.J. Wilson.
C.J. Wilson has failed to pitch more than 5 innings in half of his last 6 starts now, and he had a disastrous outing last time he faced the Astros. That was June 3rd, giving up 5 runs, 6 hits, while walking 5 over just 2 2/3 innings of a 7-2 loss to the Astros, one of the shortest starts of his career. He went 5-2 with a 2.45 ERA in his first 9 starts against Houston. One of those, his first start against Houston this year, a 9-1 win back on April 7th. So the Astros set to go. The Astros have hit well against left-hand pitching on the course of the season, and we'll see if they can continue that trend. The Astros come in having lost 4 consecutive games and 13 of 17. It has been a rough trend of late for the club. Not so much for Jose Altuve, though. 3 more hits last night as he leads the major leagues in that category. First pitch grounded to short, to his left to make the play. Ibar goes high, but it's brought down by Cron. 1 pitch, 1 out here in the first.
Shortstop, number 6, Enrique Hernandez.
Brings up Kike Hernandez, who again gets that start at shortstop tonight, batting in the 2 spot for Houston. The Astros begin the night now 36-51 as a club, 17 games back of first place Oakland in the American League West. Strike at the knees on Kike. Hernandez went hitless in last night's game. Got a start in left field last night, made a terrific defensive play and turned it into a double play. Has the count at a ball and a strike. With the bat, was 0 for 3 in last night's game with a walk and struck out a pair of times. He's hitting .375. Rather low strike called for C.J. Wilson. And the count at 1-2 on Hernandez. George Springer batting in the 3 spot tonight and playing in center field waits on deck. 2 balls and 2 strikes. C.J. Wilson, not known as a guy who works overly quickly, but probably what slows him down most of the time is his inability to stay in the strike zone. But again, some of the numbers recently for C.J. Wilson, not very good. Pitch hit on a line right field, but charging to make a nice play is Colin Cowgill. That's 2 down here in the first inning. Kike Hernandez stings it.
Center fielder, number 4, George Springer.
Ball ripped, tough luck. Almost hoping that Cowgill would lose that thing in the sun. Some of these shadows, stays on it nicely, but a good piece of hitting from Kike.
And I think you could see at the last moment Cowgill flinching his head away from this line drive. So that sun, no doubt, having some impact for a while in right field.
It's a good thing Josh Hamilton isn't out there. You know what the sunlight does to those light-eyed guys, you know.
Yes, I've heard that story. He actually got a doctor to back him up with that story a couple of years ago. Ground ball back to the mound, slowly hit. As thrown out is George Springer. 1-2-3 first inning. C.J. Wilson plugs through that first. C.J. Wilson. Now Dallas Keuchel trying to get back in the rotation and find that sharpness he had so strongly now. And he'll face this lineup for the Angels. Right fielder Colin Cowgill, followed by Mike Trout, who plays in center. On the DH today is Albert Pujols. Middle three, Josh Hamilton in left. Second baseman Howie Kendrick and Eric Ibar at short. And the bottom three, third baseman David Freese. At first base tonight, C.J. Cron, and Chris Iannetta once again does the catching.
On the mound for the Houston Astros, it's going to be that guy right there, Dallas Keuchel. Numbers on the road doing quite well. ERA low, opponent's batting average quite low. He has 3 complete games on the season. He's the first Astro since Roy Oswalt to have 3 complete games in a season. Roy did that back in 2009. Dallas Keuchel looking to continue that trend, coming off that left wrist inflammation after throwing a complete game loss in Tampa Bay.
And the third of those complete games coming in his last start, a loss to the Tampa Bay Rays that Blummer's talking about. He went 8 innings and allowed 4 runs. They were all earned. And as he prepared for that next start, that left wrist swelled up on him. And so just trying to get back together. So that last start, June 22nd. And here he is on July 4th. Colin Cowgill at the plate. Hitting .282, doing a very nice job for the Angels. Hits a 2-hopper to short. Kike Hernandez with his first opportunity at short and makes the play.
Kike's played 3 games for the Houston Astros in 3 different positions now.
He's been a DH, a left fielder, and now a shortstop. He's also performed that pinch hitting role nicely.
Saw Kike at shortstop. Around the rest of the infield, Matt Dominguez at third, Jose Altuve at second, John Singleton at first base. Head out to the outfield, L.J. Ho's out in left field. George Springer playing center field. It'll be the first start of the season, or first start for the Houston Astros for that matter. Domingo Santana in right field.
Mike Trout at the plate. Appear to be taking all the way. Takes it inside from Kite.
Don't forget about Corpy. He's catching tonight. Left-hander on the mound. He'll give Jason Castro the night off.
And a strike delivered by Keuchel. A ball and a strike. One of the game's great young players. One of the game's great players, for that matter, at the plate, Mike Trout. Keuchel comes back with a 1-1 and misses in. Dallas Keuchel very adept at working both sides of the plate. Brett Oberholzer, who pitched last night's game, has been sent back to the minor leagues. That was announced following last night's game. Now a 3-1 count on Mike Trout. Not a guy you want to walk. And yet a guy a little bit like George Springer, who hasn't run a whole lot this year, but when he has run very successfully, 10 for 10 in that regard. And ball 4. So a 1-out walk to Mike Trout will bring up the DH tonight, Albert Pujols.
Designated hitter, number 5, Albert.
With Brett Oberholzer being sent back to AAA Oklahoma City, the Astros have reinstated right-hand pitcher Josh Fields from the 15-day DL. Pujols at the plate, hitting .254, has 17 dingers and 50 ribbies. There's that slide step from Keuchel. He tries to find the inside corner and gets it. 0-1 the count. And now a ball and a strike on Pujols. Last night, Pujols 1 for 4 in this series opener. And stayed right at that .254 mark that he started the night with. All 3 infielders on the left side. That shift on for Houston defensively. So a big hole on the right side as Singleton is holding at the bag. A timeout called there just before the pitch was delivered. Albert Pujols has made a pretty nice career out of hitting against Houston pitching. 43 lifetime homers, 117 RBIs while hitting .300 against Houston. Keuchel holds onto the ball and then the slide step. 2 balls and 1 strike. Left fielder and cleanup man Josh Hamilton waits on deck. Pujols has been effective at home this year, hitting .278, 7 bombs, so he's hit 10 of his home runs while playing on the road. And takes low, 3-1. And you wonder, can Keuchel, who hasn't pitched in 12 days, come back and be overly sharp tonight?
Well, it's going to take some time. You know, it's one thing to go down in the bullpen and feel good about yourself when nobody's taking a hack off you. Get some live action. It's just going to be a matter of time. I'm sure he wants to be out there and he's excited about it too.
3-1, a little chopper back toward the mound. Only one play, that to first. They'll get the out on Pujols. Moving safely into second is Mike Trout. So with 2 down, Hamilton will bat with first base open. Josh Hamilton hitting .304. Big, strong left-hand hitter, 5 bombs on the year. And takes a strike. And one of the numbers we mentioned on Hamilton last night, the fact that he has done so much better against left-hand pitching this year than he did a year ago. Last year he hit right around the 200 mark against lefties. This year closer to 400. Has a ball and a strike. Just the first inning, scoreless ball game. Game 2 of this 4-game set. And again, the 12th meeting of 19 set for the season between these two clubs. And a strike on the outside edge. It's 1-2.
It's a good time to be a pitcher when you got Angel Hernandez behind home plate. Typically has a bigger zone. Likes to call that high strike too.
Josh Hamilton, like Albert Pujols, some great numbers lifetime against Houston. 17 homers while hitting .337. Now we'll see if we can invoke Angel Hernandez here. Can't do it. It's a line shot, hook foul down the right field line. Hamilton had a tough night last night in the opener, 0 for 4 with 3 strikeouts. And his batting average went from .313 to the .304 that he presently has. There have been 3 no-hitters thrown on July 4th around Major League Baseball, that through the years. A couple of those go way back to the early 1900s. One of Jeff Blum's favorite pitchers, Hooks Wiltse in 1908, George Mullen in 1912. Dave Righetti pitched the last and the third of those 3 in 1983. Ground ball slowly hit left side, and with the shift on, no shot at all for Matt Dominguez. It's an infield single for Hamilton as Mike Trout stays at second base.
And that will not allow Dallas Keuchel to join Hooksy on that list of no-hitters on 4th of July. Just another inside out of it, but really a no-man's land right there for Matt Dominguez. The only good thing about that is it sets up a force play at first, second, or third.
So your buddy is still going to be in the books as one of only 3. Hooks Wiltse. Can't say I ever heard of him.
His great grandkids are still bragging about that one.
Yeah.
As well they should.
And I guess you guys correspond occasionally?
Yeah. Pen pals.
Brings up the 5-hitter, Howie Kendrick. He's hitting his last 3. Don't really hear much about pen pals anymore. Guess it doesn't work that way anymore.
Yeah, that new technology kind of ruined that.
Kendrick takes one outside. 2-0 the count. So it appears that Keuchel is struggling a bit with command here in the inning, trying to spot pitches on the edges. But that is the Keuchel way. Ground ball and a diving stop by Kike Hernandez. Throws from his knees and not in time. The throw rather. Not dug out by Singleton, and that was going to be close.
Didn't take long for Kike to show us he can lay out at shortstop, too. We saw him make a fantastic play in left field last night for a double play, doubling up Mike Trout off a hit, possible hit from Albert Pujols. But this one right here was a big situation. 2 outs. What could have been a possible RBI single. He knocks it down, but comes up with a pretty strong throw. Pickable ball for John Singleton. I'm sure if you went down and asked him, he'd say he'd expect to make that play. And that ball, if caught, clearly gets Howie Kendrick.
Yeah, that's an out and a great play in what would be just the first inning of work for Kike Hernandez in the big leagues at shortstop. Bases loaded, slow number down the third base line, and it rolls foul. So Eric Ibar tries to come up with another infield hit, and it just does roll foul. So there's been a walk and 2 infield hits here in the first inning. Keuchel really being forced to work.
That would have been frustrating right there. Good job of Keuchel recognizing. Probably doesn't have a play on that anywhere. Lucky enough to have that one go foul. And what gets lost in Kike's play is that he kept that runner from scoring by knocking that ball down. And credit Singleton, too, for not letting that ball get by him.
Infield all the way back. Shading toward the left side. Very close pitch, misses. It's a ball and a strike. Well, that's right where Carlos Corcoran wanted the pitch. Keuchel a long look in to get his sign. And now Ibar asks for timeout. Ibar, the 6th hitter in this Angel lineup. Two balls and a strike. Ibar hitting .277. He's been a pain for Astros pitching through the years, hitting .283. This is 29th career game against Houston. Pitch is popped up, foul side down the right field side. Singleton runs out of room on a ball that got a little further down the line than I think John was accounting for. Had Singleton gotten to the railing there, he might have been able to make a play.
Yeah, it would have been tough. He's got to go down around that box that kind of juts out onto the field. Some good seats, but it definitely came into play. I think if that thing wasn't there, he might have gotten to that wall a little bit quicker, too.
You think he's already sized up that he needs to be able to get down past that little scoreboard area?
Yeah, he would have had to take a different route to get to that one.
2-2 the count. And a chopper foul at the plate. So Ibar stays alive. You wonder how an inning like this, a first inning for Keuchel, 26 pitches, might affect him. Real battle to get through the first inning. But a worthwhile battle if he should be able to get out unscathed here in the first. 2-2 on the fist. Little looper back of short. Kike makes a great play.
Of course he does.
What a play by Kike Hernandez. And he made a couple of gems in the first inning and keeps the game scoreless after 1. Oh, how about that play? Any chance he might be playing shortstop. A big happy July 4th to everybody watching in this evening. We are glad to have you with us.
And the Astros face off against the Boston Red Sox in a 3-game set, July 11th through the 13th at Minute Maid Park. Do not miss Boston's only trip to Minute Maid Park this season. And for tickets to the Red Sox series, call 1-877-9-ASTROS or visit astros.com. Hey, check out this little Astros fan right here, John Singleton. I think it's his nephew because Uncle John.
Hey, that's
Look
nice.
at this guy.
That is nice.
Beautiful.
I'm going to go find him tonight. That's my goal.
Look at those look at those skies there filled with clouds, threatening here on the 4th of July. Beautiful evening, and what a play by Kike Hernandez to keep this a scoreless game. Little looper by Eric Ibar looked like it was going to drop for a hit, and that would have scored 2. So we lead it off here in the 2nd inning for Houston. Matt Dominguez, the cleanup man, stands in 0 for his last 9. And that batting average now down to 233 for Matty D. Takes a strike on the outside corner. Left-handers C.J. Wilson and Dallas Keuchel. Dallas really had to battle for that first inning.
As long as there's a donut up there, it's worthwhile.
And there's only a donut because of Kike Hernandez in that terrific play.
Ain't that the truth? That was awesome.
Pitch outside. 2-2 the count to Matt. 11 homers on the year. And down on strikes, Matt Dominguez. Out number 1, first strikeout of the night for C.J. Wilson.
Number 23, Chris Carter.
A little bit of a slider from C.J. Wilson. Really didn't want to throw him anything that he could get his hands on. First couple pitches outside, tried to backdoor cut him. And that down and in slider.
One out for Chris Carter, the DH. Batting in that 5 spot. And Carter with that batting average now at 182 takes a strike. It has been a more docile Chris Carter here in recent games when he's gotten a chance to play. Hammers one left field, back at the wall. Carter got himself all of this one. Home run number 14 for Chris Carter. And the Astros get on the board first. It's 1-0 Houston.
I still can't figure it out, but it is a joy when he gets the barrel on the ball. He has a tendency to drive it out of the ballpark. It's fun to watch. Kid's got some crazy pop.
Number 28, John Singleton.
Contact's the only issue for him.
Chris Carter's had a lot of success here in Anaheim. And lifetime, that's his 10th home run against the Angels. So he enjoys hitting here. Seattle would be another place that Carter enjoys swinging the bat.
He's now 7 for 21 off of C.J. Wilson.
John Singleton stands in 0 for his last 12. A ball and a strike on John. Been a while since we've seen a Chris Carter bomb, too. 2 balls and a strike. Carlos Corporon gets a start. He waits on deck. There's Chris Carter in the dugout. And well, you wonder what goes through his mind. Trying to figure things out. If he produces, he's in there every day. Big swing by Singleton. It's popped up behind the plate. Iannetta comes back and makes the play. That's the second out here in the 2nd inning.
Catcher, number 22, Carlos Corcoran.
And again for Carter, home run number 14 on the year, RBI number 31.
So with that home run, it makes 6 of his last 11 hits have been home runs.
Well, you want him to hit home runs, I guess, huh?
As long as you don't care about all the other stuff that comes along with it.
Corporon, batting right-handed, takes a strike.
Like to see a couple more guys on base when he hits them.
For Carter, the last home run came June 12th against Arizona in Houston. And he was in the midst of a mini hot streak at the time. He had hit 2 home runs the day before against those same Diamondbacks, and had 4 home runs in a 4-day span at that time. The first of those, you might recall, a grand slam at Minnesota. 0-2 pitch is high. One and two the count on Corpy, hitting .230 on the year.
Nice. Scott Feldman, a man of the people.
What's a ball game in Southern California without the beach balls?
There we go. Get it to some of the veterans. Knock that thing around. Boom.
2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs here in the second. And now 3 and 2 on Corpy. Corpy likes to take his strolls around the home plate area.
Hey, you don't play that often. You gotta, TV
gotta milk
time.
it, huh?
Yeah, it's TV time.
3-2 pitch, grounded slowly towards short. Ibar comes on to make the play. That'll do it for Houston in the second inning. But they get a run on the bomb, number 14 on the year by Chris Carter. 1-0 Houston.
To May 19th, Dallas Keuchel lights out right here in Anaheim, collecting a win, throwing 8 2/3 scoreless. Excuse me, he gave up 2 earned runs, but was so close to getting that complete game shutout. Mike Trout legging out an infield single right there with just two outs in the 9th. So close. Keuchel extremely disappointed at that moment, but then after it kind of wore off, he realized how good he was that night and how good he felt. And he said that with the recent success on that very mound, there's going to be something a little extra he's pitching with tonight. Maybe it's confidence, maybe it's comfort. Either way, he'll have a little extra something. You just hope he's shaking the rust off here early and feeling better as the night goes on, guys.
Thanks, Julia. And that infield single by Mike Trout was followed by an infield hit from Albert Pujols. Keuchel came out of the game. As Josh Zeid came on, he faced Howie Kendrick, who tripled down the right field side, driving in the 2 runs. They were charged to Keuchel. And so that was a very frustrating game, I would think, for Dallas Keuchel, despite how good he was. And he was tremendous. David Freese leads off for the Angels here in the second inning. He's hitting 3 straights and hitting .245 on the year. Keuchel brings that slider. 1-2 the count. A lot put on this guy, David Freese, to be the everyday third baseman and provide some pop for the Angels. It hasn't been there yet. Big guy, 6'2", 225. He was just a 9th-round pick by the Padres back in 2006. But he blossomed for the St. Louis Cardinals, where he started in 2009, played there through last season. And again, Keuchel trying to get him to bite on that slider. There are days, Blummer, when it seems that hitters simply can't lay off that pitch.
Well, he's had a season full of that. Now he's recognizing that the Angel hitters are laying off it a little bit. Time to make the adjustment.
And now a 3-2 count. Keuchel really being forced to work here. 33 pitches already. Still looking for that first out in the second inning. Chopper towards shortstop. Kike comes on and makes the play on the run. And that little in-between hop, dead on the run. How about Kike Hernandez?
It's smooth so far. Hasn't given us any reason to think that he can't play every day around all over this ballpark. Charging nicely. Nice pickup on the short hop.
You think there's some raised eyebrows thinking right now, this guy looks like he can play it short?
Well, in just watching him and how he's reacting around the ballpark, obviously he's a baseball player. He loves going out there and playing the game. I like how he's approaching everything. But he's got some of that moxie or that savvy about the game that you don't typically see from a young kid.
And again, it was Kike Hernandez making the great play with the bases loaded, 2 out in the first inning. The little pop fly by Eric Ibar that had a chance to drop in left center field and played at least a couple of runs. If Dallas Keuchel settles in this evening and is able to lead the Astros to a victory and snap this 4-game losing streak, that might be the play you look back on.
I wish I had a better example to say why I think Kike has that kind of like that savvy, that moxie, but on that pop-up off of Ibar in that first inning to get Keuchel out of it without a run being scored, just watching him from our angle, I mean, he put his head down. He said, I'm not going to let this ball drop.
Ground ball foul, third base side.
You know, he didn't give up on it. A couple times we've seen a couple big plays he's made. He hasn't given up on many plays. He wants to go get that thing.
You know, I've said a lot of times, there are guys who have great tools and can't play the game. And there are others who don't tool out, but can really play baseball. Now, I don't know where Kike Hernandez fits there, but
well, he's turning some heads right now, for sure.
That pitch bounces well out in front of the plate. 2-2 the count. Not a super sharp Dallas Keuchel for the moment. One nothing Houston on a Chris Carter bomb, his 14th of the year. Little fister that'll drop in shallow right field for a base hit. Third hit of the night now for the Angels. That has C.J. Cron aboard. 9-hitter Chris Iannetta comes to the plate.
Just a reminder, as you enjoy a cold one, to look forward to Miller Time later in today's game. It is brought to you by Miller Lite. Probably a few Miller Lights being had on this 4th of July. Hopefully everybody's out there barbecuing, having a good time, celebrating some Independence Day.
You have some late night plans?
I might. I don't know if any of my friends will by the time I get there.
Good swing by Iannetta as he fouls it back. No, I'm sure they'll plan the night around you.
No, I've got family in town. I think we're going to hang out here at the ballpark and watch the fireworks after the ball game.
Good. Oh, and 1 the count, and a lob to first base by Keuchel. With Chris Carter hitting a home run tonight on July 4th, there have been some major milestone homers hit on the 4th of July throughout the years. David Ortiz hit his 400th a couple of years ago. Mickey Mantle hit his 300th in 1960 on the 4th. Line shot, and that's into left center field. Solid base hit. Springer will cut it off before it gets to the track and get it back in. But it's a double for Iannetta. Stopping at third is Cron. And with 1 out, the Angels have a pair of runners in scoring position.
Flat out smoked by Chris Iannetta. Even with the shift, he hit it hard enough and high enough to get it over Altuve's head. That ball's just squared up nicely.
And with the shift in the outfield, Springer was playing toward right center field, had a long way to go to cut this one off.
Actually did a good job of cutting it off, because if that ball gets to the wall, C.J. Cron is probably going to be waved and sent home.
Double number 10 on the year for Iannetta. So second and third, one out for the leadoff man, Colin Cowgill. The Astros play defensively in on the corners, double play, or rather back at short and second. Dallas Keuchel leads the major leagues in ground ball outs on the season. He has been a ground ball machine. From the stretch, the pitch is fouled back, a ball and a strike. Cowgill grounded out to shortstop, testing Kike Hernandez right away in the first inning. Hernandez has responded perfectly here as he works into the second. Cowgill hitting .281. 2-1 the count. First base is open. But waiting on deck is Mike Trout, and that would be a tough option to go to.
Yeah, that 2-3-4 for the Anaheim Angels could do some damage with some guys on base.
And they are the second best scoring unit in the American League. Ground ball hit to Altuve. He'll get the out at first base. The Angels will tie it as coming in to score is C.J. Cron. RBI ground out for Cowgill. Iannetta moves into third with 2 outs.
Easy RBIs. Good job by Colin Cowgill, recognizing the situation, taking advantage of the opportunity to get that easy RBI.
16 ribbies now for Cowgill. 2 down for Mike Trout. Trout drew a walk in the first. He eventually got to third base before Kike Hernandez made that terrific play. One and 0 the count. And again, it looked like Trout might be taking all the way. It's 2-0. George Springer in center, shades toward right. That leaves the big gap in left center field. 338 with runners in scoring position for Trout, and now 3-0. Mike Trout with an on-base percentage at .406. He's been absolutely terrific in that and many other regards. See if Keuchel comes after him on the 3-0. He brings a strike. Already 50 pitches now for Dallas Keuchel. He has 2 outs here in the second inning. A 1-1 game. Mike Trout is the OPS leader in the American League. He's the only guy over 1,000. Drills one to right center. There's where Springer's playing it and makes the play. So Mike Trout can't hit it much harder, but lines out. The Angels pick up a run and tie it at 1.
You get to pick the games and seat locations that work best for you. Looking for certain days of the week, all the giveaways, your favorite rivalries, or maybe a little of each? You can choose. To purchase, call 1-877-9-ASTROS.
Nice crowd on hand here this evening, and it looks like it's going to be pretty close to a sellout.
Should be.
July 4th. The weather has been ideal, a little on the warm side. In a 1-1 tie, we go to the third inning. Domingo Santana getting his start in right field tonight. He'll be followed by L.J. Hose and Jose Altuve as the first pitch is right there at the bottom of the knees. The Astros just 4-7 with these Angels on the season. And now a ball and a strike. 2-1 from C.J. Wilson. We're talking about the home runs hit by some of the big stars in Major League Baseball throughout the years. On July 4th, we mentioned David Ortiz, Mickey Mantle. Willie Mays hit his 300th. Albert Pujols also number 300. Counted 2-2 on Domingo Santana. Still looking for that first Major League hit. Houstonian Adam Dunn also added his 300th. We even had 5 players who have hit 3 home runs in a game on July 4th. Among them, Moises Alou back in 2003. 3-2 pitch, strike 3 called. Caught looking as he backs away as Domingo Santana. Out number 1 here in the third. Second strikeout for Wilson.
Left fielder, number 0, L.J. Hose.
3-2 heater. Got to let it fly. You're not going to put it in the hands of the umpire. You got to swing that bat with 2 strikes.
With 1 out, it brings up the 9-hitter, left fielder tonight, L.J. Hose. 0 for his last 6. And he takes a strike. .32 pitches now for C.J. Wilson, and over 50 already for Dallas Keuchel.
Completely backwards.
Yeah, you wouldn't, if you were coming in as a betting man, you'd go the other way, no question. Hose out in front on the off-speed pitch. It's 1-2. C.J. Wilson, not sharp at all his last couple of starts, and over a number of starts dating back to one against the Astros. On June 3rd, he started what has turned out to be a rough stretch. He worked just 2 2/3 innings, allowing 6 hits and 5 runs, all earned to Houston. The Astros won that ball game over the Angels. That at Houston. And strike 3 called on L.J. Hose, so he's caught looking on the inside edge. 2 strikeouts in the inning. Jose Altuve comes to the plate.
Second baseman, number 27, Jose Altuve.
With 2 down, let's check in with Julia.
Hey, Ash, we want to remind everyone to join the action on Astros in-game live. Go to csnhouston.com. Also, vote for player of the game, and the winner will be revealed during Astros post-game live. That's Astros in-game live on csnhouston.com.
Thanks, Julia. Jose Altuve 0 for 1 on the night. Don't say that very often. Grounded out to shortstop. That in the first, and now hits one on a hop to third. So Altuve on a couple of ground balls is 0 for 2 on his night. A 1-2-3 third inning. C.J. Wilson starting to settle in. A 1-1 game.
passing on July 4th. But back when they used to celebrate with their families, we took it back down memory lane with some of these Astros players.
I do enjoy this holiday. I think our freedom is a pretty important thing, and I'm very thankful that we're free and we can come to the ballpark every day and, you know, live.
Yeah, you know, tried to sneak around and light off a few Piccolo Pete's and stuff. That name just cracks me up. But
is there a song that you think of when you think America?
Born in the USA. Yeah, America.
We went. There was a place we went and watched fireworks, and always grilled out at the house, and it was a lot of fun. I love the 4th of July. I love the fireworks, and I love America. Apparently Zod loves America too, so it's great.
That sound that you heard was Proud to Be an American played. Little background music, soundtrack music for Josh Fields there. That's our Geico quote of the game, guys.
Thanks a lot, Julia. Go leave Greenwood. Here's a ball hit down the left field side. That's going to hook foul off the bat of Albert Pujols, who grounded back to the mound in the first inning. 0-2 the count on Pujols. Dallas Keuchel could use not only one quick inning, but probably 3 or 4 now at 54 pitches as he works to Pujols. Left-hander brings it to the plate and just under the knees. What a career Albert Pujols has had, and if he fulfills this contract with the Angels, he'll have a long way to go. He lines one into left field. So the Angels are getting at Dallas Keuchel tonight. A leadoff single here in the 3rd inning. And for the Angels, now 5 hits on the night. They had 2 in the first, 2 in the second. Pujols gets it started here in the 3rd. Brings up Josh Hamilton.
I wonder how long Dallas Keuchel took off from throwing with that left wrist inflammation. Because it really doesn't look to be the sharp Dallas Keuchel that we had hoped for. You know he's going to go out there and compete, but he just does not have that location that we became accustomed to seeing over the course of the season.
No, it is a different look. You anticipate with Keuchel that he's just going to be ahead and stay there. Has the count even at 1-1 on Josh Hamilton. 5-time All-Star is Hamilton. Oh, what a path Hamilton has had in the major leagues. First overall pick in '99, that by Tampa Bay and the Devil Rays at the time. Now 33 years of age. He's had some very high highs. He's been the MVP in the American League, that in 2010. He was a member of the Texas Rangers at the time. Hit .359 that year to lead the league. Now with Josh Hamilton hitting .359, you know he had to hit left-hand pitching. But he's had his struggles that we talked about last year, hitting right around the 200 mark. Pitch is fouled off the left side. 3-2 the count.
He's back to hitting left-handed pitching pretty well this year.
Yep.
Not many at bats, but pretty good numbers.
He lines one to the gap in left center field, drops in front of Springer. Back-to-back hits by Pujols and Hamilton, and here come the Angels once again in the 3rd. Nobody out for Howie Kendrick.
Hit pretty well from Josh Hamilton. Pitch up out over the plate. Pretty easy for Josh to get extended on that line drive. I thought Springer had a pretty good jump at it. Actually came up a little bit short. I thought that ball was even with him. Had a chance to lay out for it, but on that one replay realized it was well in front of him.
Yeah, and as we talk about Hamilton, yes, the numbers are very good against the lefties this year. He was hitting .378 at the start of play against lefties, and against righties just .269. Now go figure. Howie Kendrick at the plate. Kendrick hit that ball to Kike Hernandez, to Hernandez's right. And Hernandez backhanded from his knees, made a strong throw on a hop, but not handled at first by Singleton. Here's a base hit. Pujols doesn't have speed. He'll be stopped at third. 3 consecutive hits. Bases juiced for Eric Ibar. What are you seeing on Keuchel?
This ball's up. Getting used to him pitching down the zone and setting guys up and creating some swings and misses to right-handers. Now he doesn't have that changeup working as effectively. The fastball's leaking out over the plate. Not that real sharp slider that we were used to seeing either to get those swings and misses down and in on right-handed hitters. Angels taking advantage of it.
Well, Carlos Corcoran out to the mound. Brent Strom, the pitching coach, has been out there. He's had his say, nobody out, bases loaded. Eric Ibar hit that little pop fly that looked like it was going to drop in left center field and provide at least a couple of runs in that inning for the Angels. But a great play by Kike Hernandez to haul it in. And that ended the first inning. Infield will play double play depth at short and second. John Singleton drawn in on the first base side. Matt Dominguez in, but not all the way in on the left side. Ground ball to short, should be 2. Hernandez, Altuve, and Singleton. They get the double play, but in the process, scoring from third is Pujols. The Angels take a 2-1 lead here in the third. And 2 down as Hamilton moves into third.
And I'm sure that Dallas Keuchel is more than happy about giving up 1 run for 2 outs. Nice turn by Altuve, hopping out of the way.
No RBI for Ibar. And now Keuchel presented the opportunity to get out of this third inning with just 1 run against him. And again, Kike Hernandez not really challenged with this play, but starts the double play perfectly. Freeze out in front on the change. Freeze grounded to short, his only at bat. Now lines one into left center field. That's the 4th Angels hit of the inning. It goes to the wall. Freeze glides into second base. RBI 2-out double and a 3-1 Angels lead.
Keuchel having some tough luck trying to come back from that inflammation. David Freese hits well off the Astros to begin with. This ball leaked out over the middle of the plate. The Angel hitters are wasting no time. They see a pitch in the strike zone from Dallas Keuchel. They are in full attack mode.
Double number 10 for David Freese on the year, and his 25th ribby. C.J. Cron had a base hit to right field in the second, came around and scored that first Angels run of the night. The next pitch from Keuchel will be his 70th. This cannot be at all what Dallas Keuchel had in mind coming out tonight, or for that matter, what Brent Strom had in mind. One and one the count. Now timeout asked for and received at home plate by Cron. Cron just 24 years of age. Drills one past the diving Matt Dominguez. That's into left field. Being waved home is Freese. Here comes the throw, and they got him. L.J. Hose fires on the fly to Carlos Corcoran, and they get the out at the plate. So 5 hits in the inning for the Angels, and now we've got a question mark. Mike Scioscia has come out, and I don't know if Scioscia is arguing that maybe home plate was blocked by Carlos Corcoran. He's pointing in that area. What did you see, Blummer?
I'm not sure, but I'm not going to argue with Mike Scioscia about what's happening at home plate because he's got a pretty good idea over the years. He was a master of blocking home plate, but I'm sure his interpretation of the rules is going to be translated to Angel Hernandez as we get a chance to look back. LJ Ho's let this one fly. Pretty good play. I don't think he was blocking. He's got his left foot in a great spot at that point of the plate, giving that outside lane to the base runner, but I'm wondering if Mike is coming out to argue that he may have snuck that right foot in. I'll tell you what, if they argue that that is a blocking of home plate, that would be kind of nitpicking. I'm not sure. That's a fine line.
For me, that's a perfect job by Carlos Corporan.
I think that was great, too.
The rule, as I understand it, says you cannot block the plate without the baseball. So once Corp got the ball, he moved the left foot a bit in front of the plate.
And if he has his left foot on the front left point of home plate, he is giving more than half the plate to the base runner on the outside.
Mike Scioscia's been there, and he was one of the game's great plate blockers, and it looks like as he looks at the replay here at the stadium that he feels he's in the right with this call. We'll see what the umpires come up with.
Looking at the replays that they're showing on the big board here and some of the ones we've seen on TV and that everybody else has seen at the home is that Freese did a fantastic job of keeping that front foot down, actually sliding it across the ground and maybe snuck that one past Corporan before he got the tag on it. More often than not, you go into that 4-point slide and that front foot has a tendency to fly up in the air, but Freese did a good job of keeping it on the ground and right around home plate.
For Mike Scioscia, this is his 16th challenge this year, and he's been successful on just 7 of them. Are you surprised at all at the success rate being as low as it is this year amongst so many managers?
I think they're a little aggressive with it. They want to believe that some of these plays are going to be overturned, but I also think that some of the replay situations aren't clear enough for some of these umpires to overturn these calls. And, of course, when you have umpires critiquing other umpires, they're going to err on the side of the umpire before they do the coach.
That was what I felt early on in the season was happening quite a bit, that even with some what appeared to be obvious plays that should be overturned, they didn't do so. Let's take one more look at that play.
Watch Freese's front foot. Doesn't pop up, stays down. May have snuck that toe on that that back edge of the plate.
I don't think you could argue that the plate was blocked there since Freese easily got in there. And the only thing I can guess is that they're asking, did Freese do as you said, get that foot onto the plate? It's very close. I don't know if that's within the range where I would say you could overturn it.
I think the average time that they're going to the replays around minute 50, maybe. This one feels like it could be a little bit longer.
Of course, that one at the plate is one that you could probably afford to give a little more time to make sure you get it right.
Well, any close play at home plate as a manager, you got to go out and contest it just so they go look at it and make sure that the call is right.
Well, the umpires have gotten word from New York he is out at the plate. And so with that initial out call, I have a feeling that fell in the category of just too close to overturn. And so the Astros catch a break. The Angels get 5 hits and score a pair. They lead it 3-1. 4th of July. We're at Angel Stadium in Anaheim, California. 3-1 the Angels lead. Alan Ashby, Jeff Blum, and Julia Morales with you. It's the second of 4 over the weekend. The Angels put 1 on the board in the second, 2 in the third. The Astros got their run in the second on a Chris Carter home run. That's the only Houston hit of the night. And we go to the 4th inning. Kike Hernandez has gotten himself a start at shortstop. He's been great defensively. 0 for 1 on the night with the bat as he flied to right field in the first inning. He takes a strike. C.J. Wilson with the breaking ball. And out in front, 0-2 on Kike Hernandez. He'll be followed by George Springer and Matt Dominguez here in the 4th inning. Pitches pop foul to the seats. 1 run on 1 hit for Houston. 3 runs on 9 hits for the Angels against Dallas Keuchel. It has been a rocky first 3 innings for Dallas. And C.J. Wilson is the guy coming in who has had the struggles, but he has been pretty close to pinpoint so far. The 1-2 from C.J. Breaking ball line down the right field side. That's in for a hit. Cutting it off down the line is Cowgill. It'll be a leadoff single as Kike Hernandez continues to impress here this evening.
Center fielder, number 4, George Springer.
I'm a big fan.
Yeah, I think all of us should be.
Piece of hitting with 2 strikes. Good plate coverage. That ball in the outside corner. He saw 2 nasty pitches to start out this AB. Went down 0-2.
I see that guy that can play the game. So far, we haven't been able to see him for a long time.
Yeah, it has been brief, but it has been impressive.
And from what we've seen here over 3 innings, defensively at shortstop, no reason he can't play. George Springer grounded back to the mound, his only at bat. He takes a strike. Mike Trout in center field, shaded toward the gap in left center.
How many guys like Kike Hernandez get looked over in other organizations because they're not in a situation like the Houston Astros.
Pitch hit high and deep left center field. Trout going back at the track, at the wall. It's out of here. George Springer has launched one to left center field. A 2-run bomb, his 17th of the year, 46 ribbies, and the Astros are right back even at 3.
It's just a good old-fashioned softball swing right there. Big hanging breaking ball left out of the plate. Springer waits for it. Come down out of the stratosphere, and he launched it right back where it came from, up towards the rock pile here in Anaheim.
How about that? 17 home runs already for Springer. The Astros with 2 bombs on the night, Chris Carter and George Springer. And despite Dallas Keuchel struggling as he has, it's a 3-3 game. Nobody out for Matt Dominguez. Dominguez struck out in the second, the first at 3 for C.J. Wilson. And
I think Joey Bats is watching any of this.
I don't know.
Maybe get a chance to pick this guy up and put him on his home run derby team.
Well, he should.
If you've seen any of his home run BP, he would put him on that team.
Let me ask you this. If George Springer was in the home run derby, who would you favor in the home run derby this year?
George Springer.
I would as well. Line drive base hit by Matt Dominguez. 3 consecutive Houston hits in the 4th. He's aboard for Chris Carter.
Designated hitter, number 23.
How about that for pretty hitting? And that snaps an 0 for 10 for Matt Dominguez.
We've seen Matty D do that before, just shoot the ball the other way. He's got good hands.
He does. Now he's a third baseman, and there's all the talk about you need to drive the baseball, but that's kind of pretty. Chris Carter with home run number 14 on the year. That came with 1 out in the second inning, and it was a legit bomb.
Now batting Rob Deere for the Houston Astros.
What was that was just said?
I think home runs for a rookie before the All-Star break. George Springer. 17. Not sure. I'd have to look that one up, and it's kind of tough here in the PA here at Anaheim Stadium.
Yeah, George Springer, he is really something. Yes, he leads the league in strikeouts, but he might lead in excitement as well.
Yeah, Rex Jones is telling me, but you can't grow a mustache like this.
That's right. You may be exciting, but this is what exciting's all about. Nobody out, 4th inning, 3-3 game. Chris Carter with a 3-0 count.
I'm letting him swing. Good numbers off C.J. Wilson. Good chance he's going to get a fastball somewhere to hit.
And a strike from Wilson. So how do rallies start? In this case, it starts with Kike Hernandez taking a backdoor breaking ball, tough pitch, couple of strikes on him, and lines it down the right field line for a hit. That leads to the home run by George Springer. The 3-1 pitch drilled to center field. That'll drop for a hit. Chris Carter's 2 for 2. Stopping at second is Dominguez.
First baseman, number 28, John Singleton.
Well, just send it back where it came from. Fastball right down the middle. Good piece of hitting by Chris Carter.
Still nobody out. 4 consecutive Houston hits, and now pitching coach is coming out. Mike Butcher for the Angels. He'll be met there by Iannetta and Wilson. Well, Wilson was breezing, had allowed just 1 hit, the homer by Carter through 3, but again, 4 straight Houston hits.
He found the same batch of baseballs that Dallas Keuchel's been pitching with, those barrel finders.
Angel Hernandez, the home plate umpire, says, let's get this thing going, fellas.
Got some fireworks to see. Seen plenty so far.
We got the wave going here at Angel Stadium.
How do you feel about the wave, Ash?
Well, it's kind of other generational for me.
That's not an answer.
Sure it is.
How do you feel? I couldn't stand it.
I got worn out by it when it was in vogue. John Singleton starts the bat, holds it back. Singleton now 0 for his last 13 as he popped to the catcher in the second. And there was a time where it felt like no matter where you went, they felt like it was mandatory. They had to start the wave.
Texas outlawed it. We'll have to look into that when you guys get out there.
Don't mess with Texas.
I won't put up with that.
It's a ball and a strike on Singleton. We're in the 4th inning. This has been intriguing. Wilson now at 54 pitches. It's the waving miss by Singleton. Now Chris has suddenly hit that tough stage. Came on the scene, swung the bat well, was impressive in all facets in one way or another, but now maybe pitchers and scouting reports starting to catch up a bit. It's going to happen to everybody.
Yeah, you start scuffling, you go out, start facing some tough lefties.
Pitches hammered right field and deep. Back at the wall, this one gets out. 3-run home run, John Singleton. And the Astros turn it into a 6-3 lead here in the 4th inning.
Tell you what, C.J. Wilson, some of these pitches are just laying out over the middle of the plate. You just saw John Singleton, the pitch before, wave at a slider in the other's batter's box. C.J., I'm sure, trying to throw a similar pitch low and away, but this one just flattens out and hangs well over the middle of the plate. And John Singleton, who desperately needed this, mired in 0 for 13, gets the head out, gets extended, and drives it out for that 3-run home run.
Right-hander Corey Rasmus now gets loose in the Angels bullpen in left field. Brother of center fielder for the Blue Jays, Colby Rasmus. Like, they've got 4 brothers playing baseball one way or another, 3 in professional ball. Carlos Corporon at the plate. Bases emptied now for Carlos. Nobody out. 5 consecutive Houston hits. Couple of bombs in the inning.
I say there's 5 consecutive rockets. Anybody this inning.
George Springer and John Singleton with those long balls. And he wouldn't mind saying that for a decade or 2. Wilson misses inside. 1-2 the count on Corporon. Yeah, this just came out of nowhere here in the 4th inning. Corpy lines it foul down the right side. 6-3 Houston. C.J. Wilson straddling the rubber and brings the breaking ball low. 2-2 the count. Now the boys are starting to have some fun.
Bomb squad.
The Astros have lost 4 straight, 13 of 17, and it hasn't been a lot of fun recently.
Well, they know how to have fun when it gets going good.
Fastball taken at the knees. Corpy's caught looking. Out number 1 here in the 4th inning. And 4th strikeout for C.J. Wilson. Corpy having some words with Angel Hernandez.
We've seen that pitch called earlier in the game. Angel Hernandez not afraid to throw that arm up in the air and call that. Corpy pushing it a little bit when he was walking away, saying high, low. You start using gestures like that, now the dugout, somebody's getting ran here.
Angel Hernandez with some words for the dugout. Maybe a warning to Carlos Corporon to keep it down. And Bo Porter is not happy with Carlos, not because he struck out, but because of jeopardizing the Astros. Was there a thumb from Hernandez?
No, I saw him point to the dugout. Usually the point leads to the thumb. But I think John Maley did a great job of going into damage control right there, taking the bullet for Corporon.
Big swing and a miss as Domingo Santana has the count at 0-2. Santana struck out looking in the 3rd inning. It has not been a magical start in the big leagues for Santana. That strikeout in the 3rd, his 7th already in the big leagues in 8 at-bats, and now make it 8 in 9 at-bats. He's 0 for 2. 5 strikeouts for Wilson as L.J. HOU comes to the plate.
Maybe a generous inside corner, but you know it's being called. The key is not to get to that point.
Well, can Dallas Keuchel take advantage of the generous corner, as you call it? To this point, I would say that Keuch hasn't been sharp, but he also hasn't gotten a whole lot in terms of calls going his way. L.J. HOU struck out in the 3rd inning. Has the count at 0-1. L.J. made a terrific throw to the plate to get an out to end the 3rd inning rather mercifully. The Angels had 5 hits in their 3rd inning and scored a pair. It could have been worse. A ball and a strike. And now 2-1. C.J. Wilson probably shell-shocked at this point. The Angels, when they had those 5 hits in the 3rd inning, had a 3-1 lead. They had a chance to extend it to 4-1 and maybe move on from there. But that throw from LJ got the out at the plate. Mike Scioscia even reviewed the play, challenged it, and the Astros prevailed with that call. But now a big 5-run 4th inning for Houston. L.J. HOU has just never gotten it on track this year. That pitch was close. 3-2 the count. LJ, who did a nice job last year, hitting .287 in 46 games for the club. Now in his 34th this year, and not getting a whole lot happening. Freeze with the play. He'll get hosed. That'll do it for the Astros, but they get 5 runs in the inning on 2 very big home runs. George Springer and John Singleton.
Bottom 4. And this season at Minute Maid Park, every Friday night home game is followed by spectacular fireworks presented by Marathon Oil Corporation. And the next Friday night fireworks will be July 11th after the Astros take on the Red Sox. Get your tickets at 1-877-9-ASTROS or visit astros.com.
Thanks, Julia. We go to the bottom of the 4th inning, and Plummer mentioned there have been fireworks going off already. No question about it. 6-3 Houston. The Astros with 3 home runs on the night. It got started by Chris Carter in the 2nd inning, and then 2 more, Springer and Singleton in the 4th. A 5-run inning, and the Astros on the lead, and a great play by third baseman Matt Dominguez, but the throw not in time. It's a leadoff hit by the catcher Chris Iannetta, and the Angels just keep on swinging the sticks. That's 10 LA hits tonight.
A lot of infield hits off Dallas Keuchel. A couple in the 1st inning. Matt Dominguez made a great play on this one, going to his left, just wasn't able to get to his feet and make a strong enough throw to get Iannetta at first. Ball hit pretty well. That's a tough hop coming off the ground. Just not able to get those hips turned around to get enough on that throw.
So Iannetta aboard, and again, 10 LA hits already. We are just starting in the bottom of the 4th inning. Colin Cowgill, the leadoff man at the plate. He chops one to third. Matt Dominguez will fire on to Altuve. They'll get one. That's all they'll get. The fielder's choice erases Iannetta 5-4. 1 out for Mike Trout.
Ball chopped too high to turn that double play. Cowgill runs plenty well enough. Got to give a lot of credit to the little man Altuve for hanging in there and actually completing that possible double play.
Mike Trout has walked in line to center field, a bit toward right center field, but Springer was playing him that way in the 2nd inning. Dallas Keuchel now at 73 pitches. You know, he'd love to find a way to get at least 5 innings in this evening's outing. He brings a strike. Mike Trout kind of in that taking first pitch mode here the last couple of nights.
Seeing the ball as well as he is, he can. There's no panic in this man's game right now.
Of course, he's also struck out 86 times on the year. And that's a stat that I find surprising.
Yeah, he had a real rough stretch when we came through here the first time.
0-1 pitch is low. 1-1 on Trout. Albert Pujols, the 3-hitter, waits on deck. When you talk about strikeout hitters in the American League, George Springer leads the league. He's at 99 at the start of play. And then you go down the list. Number 7 on the list is Mike Trout. At the 86 we just mentioned, he takes another strike. It's 1-2. He's a patient hitter. Jason Castro, surprisingly, right behind Mike Trout. Castro has struck out the 8th most times in the league. Of course, Chris Carter is on the list. He's 4th. So the Astros well represented in the top 10. Trout takes one high. 2-2 the count. Trout with 19 bombs on his season. The American League has some big home run hitters this year. Jose Abreu, Nelson Cruz, Edwin Encarnacion, all at 26 to lead the league. And now timeout called at the plate. Victor Martinez, switch hitter for the Tigers with 21 home runs. Mike Trout is right behind. And he's tied with Brandon Moss, David Ortiz. Well, there are some guys putting up big numbers here as we are still shy of the All-Star break. And another timeout called at the plate.
I'm sorry, not Mike Trout, but Victor Martinez, 21 home runs, and I think last time I saw was 23 strikeouts.
23 strikeouts is still the number on Victor Martinez.
Goodness.
He's been amazing.
That was miraculous. Talk about Mike Trout. He's one of the league leaders in pitches seen per at bat. He's almost at 4.5 pitches per AB.
Swings and misses, down on strikes. So Trout has the strikeout get him. 2 outs here in the 4th inning. Off speed from Keuchel.
That's that slider we want to see from Dallas Keuchel. 3-2 count is a good time to throw it. Typically a fastball count, but Keuchel showing confidence in that command of the slider.
And that's just the first strikeout on the night recorded by Keuchel. Comes at a big time. 2 down for Albert Pujols. Pujols is 1 for 2 and has scored a run. He kick-started that 3rd inning when the Angels put 2 on the board. Now, when you talk OPS leaders in the American League, Mike Trout is the leading man. Only guy over 1,000 in OPS. Right behind is Victor Martinez. Here's a drive left field. Going back is Hose. He's run out of room. 2-run bomb for Albert Pujols. The ball is flying out of Angel Stadium. And it's suddenly 6-5 Astros on top.
The game's moved up an hour here on 4th of July. Game time is at 6:05, and that's usually around batting practice time. Seems like both teams are taking it to these left-handed pitchers. Albert Pujols, 509 home runs, 510 home runs on his career now.
That's his 18th on the year. 52 ribbies now for Albert. And that just adds to that list of numbers that we talked about earlier that Albert has put up against the Astros over his career. It brings up the cleanup man, Josh Hamilton. For Albert Pujols, 44 career homers against Houston. Ground ball. Keuchel makes the play on the left side of the mound. He'll straighten and make the throw to get Hamilton. That'll do it for the Angels, but they pick up 2 big runs and the big swing by Albert Pujols. TXU Energy. Get TXU Energy free nights, free electricity all year long, now with even more free hours. 1-866-CALL-TXU. This is some lively ballpark here this evening. Angels have hit a home run, that by Albert Pujols, 2-run job. The Astros have hit 3. Carter, Springer, and Singleton. It's a 6-5 Houston lead as we go to the 5th inning. And the top of the order, Jose Altuve leads it off. He's grounded out twice on the night. 4th of July, and a near, if not packed house here in Anaheim. Folks came for baseball and fireworks. They've got both here.
Yeah, not expected here at Anaheim Stadium. Ball flying out of this place.
It's a ballpark that generally plays quite tough, but not the case here, at least in the series. Jose Altuve has seen his batting average slide all the way down to 345.
You better get out for some early work tomorrow.
Counted a ball and 2 strikes. He has been some kind of show unto himself. Starts the night at 347. 12 points in front of second runner Adrian Beltre. Strike 3 called, outside corner, caught looking Altuve, and maybe a generous corner there. That's the first out in the 5th.
Good grief, when was the last time Altuve took a strike for a strikeout? Doesn't happen too often.
Albert Pujols, one of the game's great home run hitters. He's moving up 5'10", and he's got some big names right in front of him. How about hearing that you're 1 home run shy of Mel Ott? Ball hit sharply, knocked down at short by Ibar, but Kike Hernandez has himself his 2nd hit of the night. 2 for 3 for Kike Hernandez.
He's stinging the ball. I don't think he's missed the barrel since he's been in the big leagues.
So Kike Hernandez now hitting .455. He's aboard with 1 out. It was Hernandez who got the 4th inning started when the Astros put 5 on the board. George Springer was a big part of that, and George has a big rip, fouling it back on the right side. Springer in the 1st inning grounded back to the mound. In the 4th inning, slammed his 17th home run of the year. Out to left center field. Mike Trout went to the wall, tried to leap up and get up as high as he could on the wall. Eventually could not make the play. And we've got beach ball action going on once again. Tarek Brock.
No, actually, that's a game ball.
That's a game ball. That's what they look like to the hitters?
Yeah, that's what the hitters are seeing right now. Altuve said, I'm going to take my ball and I'm going home.
We are in just the top of the 5th. 18 hits already between the 2 clubs. 1-1 count on Springer, who's hitting .242. 46 RBIs. That leads the club. The 1-1. We knew that George Springer had very unusual and great tools, but did you imagine that prior to the All-Star break he was going to be putting up this type of numbers?
First couple of home runs I saw him hit, I thought he definitely had a chance.
Of course, it took a while, that first home run coming in Detroit, opposite field. I guess it wasn't very long. Holds the bat back. 3-1 the count.
I tell you what, if that batting average was closer to 275, he'd probably be getting some All-Star votes. I'm sure he's getting some now, but I would imagine he'd garner a lot more attention if that batting average was that much higher.
What do you think if you're the skip and you've got a chance to bring somebody in that can be a difference maker on your club?
You see the swings he takes on a normal basis. He takes ball 4. Imagine what kind of swings he would take if he was in an all-star situation.
And now the skip. Mike Scioscia coming out to the mound. Corey Rasmus is the right-hander loosening in the pen for the Angels as the ball is taken by Mike Scioscia. That's it for C.J. Wilson. Angels go to their pen. Astros on top, 6-5 and threatening here in the fifth.
Astros with a 6-5 lead over the Angels. And time for you to tweet your photos using hashtag CSNHFanPhoto for a chance to have it shown in an upcoming game broadcast. That's brought to you by AT&T. Ash.
Thanks a lot, Julia. Man, some fireworks going on. Julia, what's going on down in the seats? Are the fans having a big time with the fireworks?
Yeah, it's definitely a packed house here. It's fun, though. A little extra energy tonight. Beach balls flying around. I've already been hit by one.
Now, Julia, when that beach ball comes down, it's unfortunate that it hit you, and I'm glad you're okay. But are you putting the beach ball back into play, or are you taking it out?
I'm really scared to answer this question. What if he was a small child?
You got to put the beach ball back into play.
Okay.
You got to give it back to the people.
Some people were very angry with me for doing that. That's why I wasn't sure of protocol around here.
Oh my gosh, more beach balls the better.
Don't ever run away from protocol, that's for sure. Corey Rasmus comes on, and again the brother of center fielder Colby Rasmus with the Toronto Blue Jays. Just kind of getting it going. 12th game now for Rasmus for the Halos. Faces Matt Dominguez. Matt has a hit in 2 at-bats. Solid hit in the 4th inning, part of the 5 consecutive Houston hits that put 5 runs on the board. But of course there were 2 very big ones. George Springer, a 2-run homer. John Singleton added a 3-run shot of his own. One out, and the breaking ball is low. Rasmus originally selected by the Atlanta Braves. He's from that part of the country, actually from Alabama, but very near the Georgia border. That breaking ball's in for a strike. 1-2 the count. Trying to darken a bit here at Angel Stadium. The lights certainly have not taken full effect. Good swing by Dominguez. He fouls it back.
Pretty good velocity from Rasmus, too. 95 on that last fastball. 4-pitch pitcher's got himself a changeup, curveball. Saw the fastball and a slider.
As Rasmus now pitching in the American League, I don't know if he's had a chance yet to face his brother. Well, that would be a challenge.
A little sibling rivalry. It's got to be good for Thanksgiving dinner table talk.
Yeah.
Get me the potatoes. I hit a homer off you.
You wonder if the two will even show up at the same table.
Geez, it's that rough in the Rasmus family, huh?
Again, 4 brothers playing baseball, 3 professionally. The 1-2 pitch hit in the air left field. Right there is Hamilton. He'll make the catch. Second out in the 5th inning. It brings up DH Chris Carter.
Just like we promised earlier in the game, it's Miller time, brought to you by Miller Lite. Home run off the bat of Chris Carter. Loves hitting him some Angel pitching. Proved it in that first at bat off of C.J. Wilson, who has now departed after giving up 3 Astro home runs. He was the early OPS monster for the Houston Astros in that dugout.
So Chris Carter 2 for 2 on the night. He scored a pair. That home run that Blummer just talked about is 14th on the year. 31 ribbies now for Chris. Has a pair of on board here. Shift on in the infield. 3 infielders on the left side. And again, that home run by Carter in the 2nd inning, the 10th he's hit against Angels pitching. Just the 39th game against the Halos. And there's something about this ballpark for Chris Carter. Pitch is fouled back just below us, and that thing had some hair on it.
Got some heat on it, Ash. That was coming in hot. I think Goobs would have turned 2 on that one. Mark Gubiza, Angels broadcaster.
I wish that had been up enough for Goobs to have the play there. Yeah, he's turning the double play next to us.
Nice easy flip.
Yeah, the flip would be the easy part of the play.
You actually get your hands on it would be the hard part.
1-2 the count on Carter.
This is the anti-DC booth.
Oh, is it ever? You should have been to Old Tiger Stadium. That booth, where we are, if you made a beeline toward home plate and went about almost half the way, that's where that booth sat. I mean, it was legit big time. Get ready and have your insurance policy ready to be looked at. Half swing. Did he go through on the breaking ball? They appeal. Yes, he did. Down on strikes is Carter. Couple in the inning. 7 on the night for Angels pitching. The Astros get a hit and leave a pair. It's 6-5 Houston.
Can do. That base base hit off of C.J. Cron into left field. L.J. HOU's coming up firing, trying to get David Freese at home. And Corcoran set up nicely, snatches the catch, puts the tag on Freese. Went to official review, and the play was confirmed. Great play by L.J. HOU's, taking another run off the board for the Houston Astros.
And guys, this outfield really, really young right now. And L.J. HOU's telling me before today's game, with Dexter Fowler being on the disabled list.
First pitch lined into center field. Here come the Angels. Howie Kendrick with his third hit of the night, leading off here in the 5th inning.
These aggressive Angels, I tell you, I can't even get through a sentence, guys. Well, it's just with Dexter Fowler being out right now, they really need to step up, including L.J. HOU's, George Springer. But these guys don't have a lot of time. But it is important for them to show some leadership, show Domingo how things run, and play to the best of their ability right now without Dexter.
Thanks, Julia. I don't know if you've noticed down there in the last few minutes how much stronger the Angels seem to have gotten, but we're getting the word up here. The Angels have made a big deal with the Chicago Cubs.
Oakland A's.
Oh, it's the Oakland A's who have gotten stronger. Okay. A bunt on the third base side rolls foul. The Angels get the leadoff hit from Kendrick. Ah, yes, it's the Cubs A's deal. Jeff Samardzija and Cole Hamel going on to the Oakland A's. Wow.
Yeah, that's a pretty impressive move by the Oakland A's, who are already doing a pretty good job in the AL West. Now they're looking to put a stranglehold on everybody out here in the West.
The only name that goes from the A's to the Cubs is Dan Straley. The others are minor league prospects. Wow. That's going to make life tough on these Angels. Little tapper foul third base side. 0-2 the count as Eric Ibar stands in 0 for 2. And I had misread that deal when it was hollered at us. Dallas Keuchel has yielded 12 hits and still has the lead here in the 5th inning. That bullpen for the Astros starting to get it loose. Josh Zeid is throwing. And you may remember it was Josh Zeid who came on in the 9th inning. And we take a glance at that AL West with the Oakland A's with a 4-game lead over the Angels. And it would appear that the A's have just gotten stronger.
But it was, you just put an X next to the Athletics right now. They already clinched the AL West. I know you got to play them, the injuries happen, but good grief. Samardzija and Hamel. I know the Cubs, you look what the Cubs got in return, but for me, that's a pretty large trade to be making right now.
That's a huge trade. Everybody's looking to get starting pitching, and that's landing a pair. And it seems that everybody who puts on an A's uniform and pitches in Oakland half of their games puts up great numbers. The 1-2 from Keuchel, grounded left side slowly. Matt Dominguez only play to first. He'll get the out. Stopping at second is Kendrick on out number 1.
Well, the A's already have their run differential is already astronomical. They're
best in baseball.
It's amazing that they're able to pull something like this off.
They haven't gotten Clayton Kershaw yet, but we'll keep our eyes peeled the rest of the evening.
Man.
Now Jeff Samardzija has turned into a legit starter.
He's only got, what, 28, 29 days until the trade deadline.
One out for David Freese. He's had a run-producing double tonight. It was Freese thrown out at the plate by L.J. HOU's in the 3rd inning. That was a very big play. And for the moment, the difference in the ball game. Little Fister going to drop in right field. That's a base hit. Freezing momentarily Kendrick. He will not be able to score. 1st and 3rd for the Angels on their 13th hit of the night.
Good pitch by Keuchel. It ain't pretty for David Freese. But if he sees an Astro uniform on the opposing pitcher, he's just going to put the bat out there and hopefully he touches it, because it ends up being a hit. Kendrick had to hold because he wasn't sure if anybody was going to be able to get to that softly hit base hit.
I was about to say, with Josh Zeid loosening up, it was Zeid who came in for Keuchel in that near complete game here in Anaheim the last time Keuchel faced the Angels here. And now pitching coach Brent Strom is going to come out to the mound, so it appears that Keuchel will have a shot to try to get through this 5th inning. But Zide allowed the triple to Howie Kendrick that plated 2 runs that belonged to Dallas Keuchel in a very tough 9th inning for Dallas. He would love for things to be a bit different here in the 5th inning. He'd also love to get through this 5th. The meeting breaks up. Brent Strom has had his say. Keuchel stays on to face the first baseman, C.J. Cron. Cron is 2 for 2 on the night. You look up and down that batting order for the Angels, and the only guys without a hit, the first 2 in the order, Colin Cowgill and Mike Trout. First pitch misses. It's 1-0. Cron has 8 bombs on the year. Tonight, a pair of singles. The Astros playing for the double play. Ground ball left side, and gloved by Hernandez. He gets 1, they'll get 2, and what an amazing play. Kike Hernandez gets the double play started as he ranges wide to his right, and from his knees starts it. Houston on top of the Angels, thanks in good part to another amazing play by Kike Hernandez, and starting a double play to end the inning with this gem.
Number one, you got to know your ability and be able to go get that ball. But look at the position he puts himself in order to be able to make that throw to second base. I mean, in your mind, you're creative enough to put yourself in a position where you make the catch, stop, and make a nice strong feed to Altuve, and give him an opportunity to turn that double play. That was awesome.
Absolutely spectacular by Kike Hernandez in his first major league start as a shortstop. We heard he was primarily a second baseman, a guy who could play all positions. But from what we're seeing tonight, this guy is a shortstop. John Singleton leads it off here in the 6th inning. It's a towering fly ball to center field. Mike Trout will make the catch when it comes down. That's out number 1.
And if you saw Kike last night, you'd probably say he could be an everyday left fielder.
That's right. He made that terrific play that started a double play. 1 pitch, 1 out here in the 6th inning for Corey Rasmus.
I believe Alex Friedman down in Oklahoma City tweeted out last night that Kike played left field for the OKC team and had 2 assists in 1 game from left field. So he's just old hat for Kike, just a different level.
Well, he is playing some baseball for the Astros. Carlos Corcoran stands in, grounded out and struck out on his night. We mentioned that trade that the Oakland A's have pulled off. The Cubs parted with their numbers 1 and 3 starters in their rotation. Jeff Smarja and Jason Hamill. I said Cole Hamill a while ago. Jason Hamill goes in that deal. So the Cubs lose their 1st and 3rd starters.
And Dan Straley was the one pitcher that the Astro fans have heard of. He pitched against the Astros, did pretty good. He's a good young pitcher. Addison Russell, the other guy. But I mean, I couldn't put a name to or face with these guys. That's a pretty good haul for the Oakland A's.
Thorpe swings through it. 1-2 the count. Does that say that the Cubs are selling off?
You have a keen sense for the obvious, Alan.
Well, you know, that just the Cubs draw so well in Chicago. It's hard to imagine that they can do that to their fans and expect them to continue to come out. 2-2 the count. Well, the thing is, I don't know anything about a young pitcher that they get in the deal. Is he somebody that is viewed as a step right in now guy and maybe be a front of the rotation pitcher? I have no idea. Corporon down on strikes, 2nd time tonight. 2 down here in the 6th inning. It brings up Domingo Santana, who has struck out twice.
Create memories, have fun, and enjoy a premium experience with an Astros luxury suite at Minute Maid Park. Let us create an experience your group won't forget. Call the Astros premium ticket line at 1-877-9-ASTROS and reserve your luxury suite today.
Eight strikeouts in 9 major league at-bats for Domingo Santana. First pitch swinging, hits one in the air and deep to right field, not deep enough. Cowgill is back, shy of the wall, and makes the catch. That'll do it, a 1-2-3 6th inning, but a good swing by Santana. The Astros on top by a run. Sixth inning. Dallas Keuchel is done with his night as Josh Zeid comes on. But how about Enrique Kike Hernandez and his defensive gems on the night?
Doing it all, offensively, defensively. We saw it earlier on, saving a couple runs for Dallas Keuchel. Doing a great job. Started that rally for the Houston Astros by leading off with that base hit. Got himself another one in this ride right here. Fantastic double play, putting himself in a great position to help the Astros turn that double play, and everybody's pumped up about that one.
Wow. And he has saved some big-time runs in this ball game. Josh Zeid now comes on, the 27-year-old right-hander, in his 18th appearance of the season for the Astros, and an ERA not where he wants it at 5.63. Left-hand hitters hitting over 500 against Zide. Trying to save things for Dallas Keuchel, who winds up working just 5 innings and allowing 13 hits to the Angels. But Keuchel with a chance to win it tonight.
I think that might be the bigger point, that Keuchel was able to battle and hang around long enough to qualify for this win.
Little sliders outside, a ball and a strike. 9-hitter Chris Iannetta at the plate, 2 for 2 with a pair of, or rather a double and a single. Had his 10th double on the year. That came back in the second. Zide out in front, 1-2 the count. Yeah, Dallas Keuchel, like other Astros pitchers, at times not treated fairly by the offense, but tonight getting plenty from the offense, who has slammed 3 home runs. Two and two the count. And down on strikes Iannetta. So the Astros get the catcher for the Angels for the first time tonight. That's 1 out here in the 6th.
I think that was the slider. Pretty good. Zide also has that split finger. Similar action. Good bite on that one.
Dallas Keuchel had just 1 strikeout on his night, so that's the 2nd strikeout for Houston pitching. Leadoff man Colin Cowgill at the plate, and now a switch hitter as they'll go to Cole Calhoun. Calhoun offering on the first pitch, fouls it back. Calhoun on his season, hitting .284. He's got some pop as well, 8 home runs on the year. Stockily built left-hand hitter. Mike Trout waits on deck. And one of those unusual nights, we mentioned it already, but 13 Angels hits and none from the top 2 spots in the order. Two balls and a strike. George Springer shading well toward left field. And now a 2-2 count. "20 hits already between the 2 clubs. I guess this is what you expect on the 4th of July. Ground ball, broken bat. Hit to Altuve. He'll toss on to first in the 2nd out here in the 6th inning. And Mike Trout comes to the plate. Mike Trout 0 for 2. He's walked, lined out, and struck out. Got some great numbers on the year, and again, the only hitter in the American League over 1,000 in the OPS category. Good slider from Zide, a strike, 0-1. Trout 2 for 4 in last night's game. Zide has a good arm, mid-90s with his heat. There's your WAR leaders around the major leagues. Troy Tulowitzki, who has insane numbers in Colorado this year, leading. Mike Trout is the top man in the American League. He drives one left center field. Springer into the gap and now has to adjust and makes a nice running grab. A 1-2-3 6th as Josh Zide shuts him down. 6-5 Houston.
join all the Astros fun this season with the Astros Buddies Kids Club membership. Catch all the baseball action plus exclusive experiences and prizes throughout the season. Visit astros.com/buddies to register today.
A lot of fans having a good time here at the ballpark. 4th of July, and we hope you're having a good one. 6-5 Astros on top of the Angels. The Astros trying to snap a 4-game skid. And we mentioned it, they have been struggling lately, losing 13 of 17. But the offense coming alive tonight. 3 home runs leading the way. Chris Carter, George Springer, and John Singleton. Corey Rasmus still on the hill for the Angels, and the first pitch taken for a strike by L.J. Hose. Hose 0 for 2 with the bat, but he made a big throw defensively to cut down a run at the plate. Just getting Freeze. 0-2 the count. A couple of breaking balls to start L.J. He was caught looking back in the 3rd inning. The Astros have struck out 8 times tonight. Dallas Keuchel stands to win it. He went 5 innings, allowing all 13 hits, 5 runs. They were earned. 1 walk, 1 strikeout, did allow a home run, and 92 pitches on his night. LJ fouls it back, stays alive at 1-2. The Astros made a couple of international signings yesterday. A couple of shortstops. 16-year-olds out of Panama. Rasmus from the deliberate stretch. Breaking ball grounded left side. Freeze to his knees, spins, and got it. Nice play at 3rd by Freeze, and out number 1 here in the 7th.
Seen that play a couple times from David Freeze here last couple games. Doesn't like to stay on his feet when he goes to his left.
That appears to be his go-to. 1 out for the leadoff man, Jose Altuve, who's 0 for 3 on the night. Jose has grounded out twice and struck out looking in the 5th inning. What a difference the home run makes. The Astros out hit 13-7, but 3 bombs on the night. Altuve lets it fly on the first strike.
I think he wanted in on the action.
It's been a bit tentative tonight. And yeah, I'm not so sure he wasn't going after a bomb himself. He has 2 on the year. Starts the bat. Did he go through? Home plate umpire takes it himself. Angel Hernandez says bat went through, and an 0-2 count now on Jose.
Astros are 28-21 when hitting a home run. It's a good sign for Astro fans.
Altuve with the 0 for 3 night, hitting .344. Pitch hit in the air to center field. That'll push Trout back just a couple of steps. He'll make the catch, and Jose Altuve, a rare 0 for 4 night. 2 down here in the 7th.
Shortstop, number 6, Kike Hernandez.
Brings up Kike Hernandez, who has been the player of the game. He's 2 for 3 with the bat. 2 singles. He scored a run. Defensively, he has been off the charts. And that .455 batting average, not too bad for Kike.
That's a legit .455 too. No cheapies in there.
Think we might see him playing a little bit of shortstop?
Yeah.
Takes the curveball in for a strike.
Lefty Darren Downs getting loose out in the Astros bullpen. Looks like Josh Fields might be hiding behind him.
It is. Fields just returned to the club. Another base hit for Kike. 3 for 4 on the night. 3 singles as he rounds first base. And he's hitting 500 in the big leagues.
Did the All-Star ballots close yet? Did they
that
close
was last night, so going to be tough to get the votes in, but we hope some of the skipper and the coaches are watching.
Kike is putting on a show defensively now with his 3rd hit on the evening. And quite the pleasure to watch.
Two-out single, hit number 8 for Houston, brings up George Springer. And just a 2-out hit like that brings up Springer could prove to be the difference in any ball game. George takes high. Springer has grounded out, homered his 17th of the year, a 2-run job in the 4th inning. That tied the game at 3 at the time. He's also drawn a walk. So 1 for 2 on the night. Intriguing that the Astros would have a righty and a lefty loosening in the pen as we are in the top of the 7th inning. Could that mean that the righty Fields comes on to face Albert Pujols and then the lefty comes on for Josh Hamilton?
Then he would have to stay in for Howie Kendrick after that. So
yeah, it would certainly be the case.
Socha doing a good job of mixing up that batting order, making it tough for the opposing manager to decide who to bring in.
Springer has the count at 2 balls and no strikes.
But we've also seen Bo Porter work with matchups and against matchups, so still kind of up in the air to see what he's going to do.
By the way, if you're just picking up on Kike Hernandez, he's a 22-year-old out of Puerto Rico, 6th rounder in 2009 by Houston, and looks like he's made up his mind to have an impact in the big leagues.
It's all about opportunity. It's good to see the young man taking advantage of it. You don't expect him to sustain the excellence he's put up so far, but the initial impression is pretty good.
Mike Butcher, the pitching coach, coming out to the mound. The bat, history says you're not going to hit 500. I think we kind of get that. But defensively, you can play great most of the time. Now, I don't know if Kike Hernandez views himself as this kind of shortstop that we've seen tonight, but he has been spectacular.
I think it'd be interesting to talk to some of the management and see how they felt about Kike coming into this. If they expected him to play that well defensively in left field, now shortstop. Maybe they saw something a little bit differently because they've had a chance to watch him over a longer stretch than we have.
Don't know if you've had a chance to meet Kike yet, but as pleasant, friendly, cordial a young man as you want to find. Speaks English perfectly as well as Spanish. (3-0) on Springer. We'll see if he has the green light. Well, apparently he did. He wasn't going to get a fastball on that 3-0, and that might have been part of what that meeting at the mound was about.
Is that a sign of respect right there, or
Boy,
what?
Is it ever. It's not the first time we've seen it with George either.
No, you just got to look through the Astros lineup and realize who you would rather face. A guy with prodigious pop like George Springer, who if you make a mistake in the zone, he has a chance to hit it up onto your rock pile here in front of your home fans. Or do you put him on base and move a guy into scoring position and take your chances with Matt Dominguez, Chris Carter, John Singleton?
Not to be tough on others, but I think it's a rather easy decision. Another breaking ball. Springer watches this one. He draws his second walk of the night. He's reached 3 times. 2 runners aboard for Matt Dominguez, the cleanup man. By the way, Kike Hernandez in the minor leagues over his career, starting in 2009, has stolen just 28 bags, caught 16 times. So he's not a guy that you anticipate stealing a load. Right-hander Mike Moran now up in the bullpen for the Angels. The Astros bullpen continues to have the righty and lefty up and tossing occasionally. Mike Scioscia comes out. This is the second visit here in the inning. So with the catcher out at the mound, Angel Hernandez, the home plate umpire, had to go out and see if he could break it up. Scioscia waits till then to come on out. He will remove Rasmus from the game. The Angels go to the bullpen. The Astros still on top, 6-5 here in the 7th. Astros have some guys heading to the PCL All-Star game, and a list that I'll let Blummer talk about, but not bad when you have 3 guys going to the All-Star squad.
Yeah, an honor for these guys being selected to go to that AAA All-Star game. Nick Tropiano, 6-4, that 197 opponent batting average. All these guys becoming prospects in the Astros organization. Good to be representing. Stassi, 6 home runs, 32 RBIs. He's the 11th prospect for the Houston Astros. And Gregorio Petit, infielder, hitting .301 in the Pacific Coast League.
That All-Star game July 16th in Durham. So coming up just after the Major League All-Star game. We have 2 outs. Mike Morin comes in for the Angels. 2-2 in 29 1/3 innings. And he has abused right-hand hitting.
Yeah, doing a good job. Doesn't really light up the radar gun by any means. Throws about 92 miles an hour. He's got a slider, changeup. Those numbers would indicate that that slider is probably pretty good.
So Morin set to go. With runners at first and second, he'll face the cleanup man, Matt Dominguez. First 2 hitters here in the inning made out, L.J. Hose and Jose Altuve. Then Kike Hernandez picked up a base hit, his 3rd knock on the night. George Springer coaxed the walk. And now it's up to Matty D, who has singled and scored in 3 at-bats. Morin, 23 years of age. Attended the University of North Carolina. Pitch is popped up, shallow in right center field. Going back, Kendrick calling, he'll make the catch. So on 1 pitch, Morin gets out of the jam in the 7th. We go to the bottom of the 7th in a 6-5 game, and we'll stay on here at Angel Stadium for a rendition of God Bless America.
Caps. On this 4th of July, prior to singing Take Me Out to the Ball Game, please join Malia Savets in singing God Bless America.
God bless America, land that I love. Stand beside her and guide her through the night with a light from above. From the mountains to the prairies, to the oceans wide with flowing God bless America, my home, sweet home.
Bottom of the seventh, and I am way up here, but I am with a very special family. John Singleton's mom, Sherry, joining me now, and his nephew. I told you guys I was going to find his nephew, Jason. Hi, Jason. Sherry, I got to ask you about Jason. He's got Uncle John on the back of his jersey. Is this one a future baseball player right here? Is he a future baseball player?
Absolutely. Power hitter, home run all the way.
For this family, though, kind of a homecoming for John. You guys are from this area. What's this weekend been like? I know you have a ton of family and friends here.
We're so excited and elated to have him home, and this is a home game for us. So this is like a rejoicing moment.
And he hit a big one earlier. What'd you think, Mom?
Yes, that was the one we were waiting for. That's the one we came here to see.
Thank you so much.
Elated. Thank
you guys so enjoy. Jason, keep rocking that jersey. You're looking good. All right, guys, back up to you.
Thanks, Julia. Good stuff down there with the family. And John Singleton coming up with that big swing tonight. That's very nice to see and great for the ball club as they lead 6-5 here in the bottom of the seventh inning. Three-hitter Albert Pujols at the plate. He's 2 for 3 on the night. Josh Zeid on for a second inning of work. And now a third hit for Pujols as he just reaches out and flips one down the right field side.
Plenty of hits to be had here at Anaheim Stadium. Don't have to do too much sometimes. Not an ideal pitch, but a hit nonetheless.
Bo Porter coming out to the mound, and we'll see how Bo decides to play this. The entire infield joining up. Josh Zeid is done with his night. So Pujols gets the inning started with a base hit. The Astros turn to the bullpen and try to protect this one-run lead. Leadoff single by Albert Pujols. That chases Josh Zeid, and now left-hander Darren Downs comes on. He'll face the cleanup man and left-hand hitting Josh Hamilton, and that may be the only man he faces, and that may be the reason why the skip, Bo Porter, has the righty and lefty throwing in the pen to start the inning. So Darren Downs trying to get Josh Hamilton, who's 2 for 3 on the night. A couple of hits against the left-hand ace of the staff for the Astros, Dallas Keuchel. We talked about the numbers on Josh Hamilton for the season. He has been much better for whatever reason against left-hand pitching. Nobody out as Hamilton stands in, and Downs' first pitch is up.
How do you feel about this outfield shift, Ash? It's one of the more extreme ones I've seen in years.
Straight up center field almost leaves Springer with no chance depending on the height of the drive. Springer pushed way toward left center field.
Yeah, that gap is now center field right behind Darren Downs.
And it looked like Hamilton tried to get the barrel out and maybe pull one a bit.
Oh, you know as well as I do, you see where the defense is playing, and when you see a massive gap like that in center field.
Yeah, there's just, it would surprise me if Hamilton hits into this defense going the other way.
But Darren Downs doing a good job of pitching into that shift.
And that's what we've talked about so many times in terms of infield shifts, is making sure that you pitch along with the shift. Maybe Downs able to make this work here. 1-2 the count on Hamilton. Pitch in the dirt, kicks away from Corpy, but not much. Albert Pujols just simply doesn't run at all anymore. But apparently swinging the bat pretty well. The Astros have gotten that bat going.
Yeah, last year, I think it was that lower half that was giving Albert Pujols issues and led to some of the numbers not being where a lot of Angel fans would like to see them. That plantar fasciitis wearing on him. Finally had surgery on it. There he goes.
Goes from first, strikeout on Hamilton. Throw down not in time. So we talk about Pujols and not running. And sure enough, he takes off on the very first move and picks second base on the strikeout of Hamilton.
Salty veteran move, picking up on the fact that the Astros weren't paying much attention to him. Considering that situation, maybe a off-speed count with 2 strikes on Hamilton, taking advantage of the situation and stole that base easy.
Albert Pujols now with 4 stolen bases and 4 tries on the year. Bo Porter says, give me the baseball, lefty. That's the man you're going to face. As Howie Kendrick, the right-hand hitter, will come to the plate with 1 out, and Bo Porter goes back to the bullpen once again. So the Astros wearing out that gate in left field as Josh Fields will jog it on in here in the 7th inning. Six-5 Astros on top, 1 out and a runner aboard at second base here in the 7th inning as Pujols has singled and stolen a bag. Howie Kendrick now comes to the plate and he'll face the right-hander Josh Fields.
Josh Fields fresh off the DL. Trying to work on getting that ERA back down. Good to have a fresh arm in that bullpen for Bo Porter.
And again, Brett Oberholzer has been sent back to Oklahoma City. Fields, with the first pitch, it's fouled back. 3 hits on the night for Howie Kendrick. He's 3 for 3. 14 hits overall for the Angels. And yet the Astros have the 6-5 lead. The Angels have hit 1 long ball. That was Albert Pujols in the 4th inning. 2-run shot to left field. But the Astros have slammed 3 home runs. 1 solo, that by Carter. 2-run shot by Springer. And a 3-run bomb by John Singleton. And out in front on the change is Howie Kendrick. It's 0-2.
Pretty good pitch from Josh Fields. Good to see him working ahead of Howie Kendrick, too. Before we saw Josh Fields leave on the DL. Saw him throwing a lot of fastballs up in the zone and getting hit around a little bit.
Got a terrific arm. He's got an arm that sets up nicely for the back end of the bullpen. But command is the issue right now. The 0-2 pitch is low in the dirt.
Really didn't have that put-away pitch. He'd get ahead of guys with that firm fastball, 0-2 count, but really got a decent breaking ball, but wasn't able to throw that thing down the zone and get some swing and misses. And now you've seen a couple change-ups, mixing it up a little bit for Josh Fields.
I think the change could be enormous for Fields. Switch hitting Eric Ibar waits on deck. The 1-2 pitch, fastball up and in right under the chin of Kendrick.
Maybe setting up that breaking ball here in a 2-strike count. Elevated heater, see if he'll chase it, but you see too many guys chasing fastball up around their neck.
Tough pitch to drive out of the yard, I know that. The 2-2 hit in the air to right field. And this one is not going to be handled. It's off the wall. That'll play to run to tie the game at 6. Pujols comes in, RBI double Kendrick. His 4th hit of the night, and we're all even at 6 here in the 7th inning. So all the back and forth with the bullpen not working for the Astros.
Kendrick is a tough out. I don't care who's on the mound. He's going to give you a solid AB every time he's up there. But right here in a 2-strike count, most hitters are looking for something out over the plate that they can fight off a little bit. He got himself an elevated fastball and drove it.
16 doubles now for Howie Kendrick. He's in scoring position for Ibar, and still just 1 out here in the 7th. Ibar turns around and bats left-handed. No matter what the stuff may look like, it still comes down to command so much of the time. Shortstop Kike Hernandez trying to come in behind just a bit on Kendrick. Curveball in for a strike, 1-1 the count. Eric Ibar without a hit tonight. Robbed by Kike Hernandez in the 1st inning. A little pop fly that had a chance to drop in left center field. But Kike with the great play. It's now 1-2 on Ibar.
That's a put-away curveball right there.
Took
Nice
something
hard
off
one.
on that one, too.
It's tough for hitters to pick up. Usually a breaking ball will jump out of a pitcher's hand up, and as soon as you recognize that trajectory, you know it's going to be a breaking ball. But when it comes straight out of the hand like that and then bites, it's tough to pick up.
The 1-2 got him looking. Big strikeout of Ibar, 2nd strikeout in the inning. And now 2 outs with Kendrick still at 2nd. It brings up 3rd baseman David Freese.
And this is what happens when you show that good breaking ball early in the count. You can come back and paint that outside corner with the fastball because you've got the hitter thinking about the nasty breaking stuff.
David Freese having a night offensively. He's 2 for 3. Has driven in a run. That came on a 3rd inning double. 10th of the year for Freese. Fastball from Fields in for a leadoff strike. So the Angels with 15 hits finally catch the Astros. The Astros jumped on top 6-3 back in the 4th inning. Beautiful sight here at Angel Stadium when they pack it in like this. And a great yard. There's a strike. Corbin did a lot of moving behind the plate, still got the call. And now 1-2 on Freese.
This would be a ballgame if somebody wasn't booing Angel Hernandez, but I guarantee you a lot of fans here are watching the way Corbin moved to catch that ball that may have taken the ball out of the zone.
That was not your classic smooth receiving there. The 1-2.
Good idea by Josh Fields right there. To get Freese to chase that breaking ball in the dirt. Big one right here to make.
Talking about David Freese earlier in the ballgame. He's a young player with 7 postseason home runs already in his career. And those all came with the Cardinals. Two got him. Down on strikes, David Freese. The Angels strike out 3 times in the inning, but they pick up a key run on a couple of hits and leave a man. We're tied at 6.
Big hit of the game, and it's the local kid done good. John Singleton with a big-time blast off of C.J. Wilson. Got himself a hanging breaking ball and unloaded, much to the delight of family and friends who were sitting here watching John Singleton play in Southern California. There he is. That's who you want to put the show on for, is that family and friends. Let them know that they're the good luck charm, too.
So we go to the 8th inning. All tied at 6. 8 hits for Houston. 3 home runs in there. 15 hits for the Angels. They have 1 bomb on the night. And John Singleton with the biggest blow of the evening. A 3-run home run that at the time turned a 3-3 game into a 6-3 Houston lead. Chris Carter leads it off, and he led off the home run parade here this evening. He takes a strike. Carter had a 2nd inning long ball. He's also picked up a hit in the 4th inning. Scored a pair on the night. 14 home runs for Carter on his season. Ground ball left side. They've got the shift on. That puts Ibar in position to make the play, and now number 1.
First baseman, number 28, John Singleton.
We're looking for positives. Chris Carter barreling that ball up, too.
Yeah, good night with the bat for Chris.
Yeah.
But then again, he tends to swing it well here at this ballpark. Any explanation for why that happens with hitters?
I wish I could tell you. I'm not sure. Sometimes it's hitting backgrounds. Sometimes it's clubhouse. I'm not sure. But whatever happens in or around that clubhouse, maybe at the hotel, sometimes these guys take some of that good mojo back out onto the field, and it just works.
Breaking ball for a strike. What was your fave?
I love playing at all the West Coast stadiums. I love playing in San Francisco, Oakland, all the way down here to L.A., both L.A. stadiums and San Diego.
So you liked hitting in Oakland. A lot of people would say that the Mausoleum is not the best place to swing the bat.
Well, I didn't drop and drive too often. I like to think I did, but in those ballparks, for whatever reason, I thought it was a great ballpark to see the ball. I felt like when I looked out beyond the pitcher, there were some gaps out there to shoot for.
Singleton 1 for 3 on the night. Takes a fastball just inside.
I know your favorite would be the Astrodome.
Yeah, that was a great hitter's yard back in the day. Yeah, surprisingly, I had some of my best times in San Diego in the old Jack Murphy.
That was a great place to hit.
You know, and they had the deep dimensions at one time before they put the inner fence in, and it just didn't seem to matter. Something in my head said, I like swinging the bat here.
And that's another place that had that really good dark, like navy blue hitting background. It was awesome to hit at.
Cincinnati, Philadelphia, other good hitting ballparks. Out in front, swinging through it is Singleton. He's down on strikes. And now 9 strikeouts of Houston hitters. 2 down here in the 8th inning. It'll bring up Carlos Corcoran.
Good grief, good changeup or split.
But I'll say this for Singleton, he's starting to get that free swing once again.
Yeah, you hate to see guys with swings like Singleton trying to poke or trying to get hits. You want to see them swinging hard just in case they do make contact, because that's where most of their success is going to happen.
Now, did you enjoy hitting on the West Coast simply because you could hear the surf roaring nearby in the distance?
Yeah, I think it was that internal clock that was set to Pacific Standard Time, and things just seemed to click a little bit better. Family was always around when I was playing on the West Coast.
Little tapper foul. It's 0-2.
But Minute Maid for me was probably the greatest hitting ballpark for me ever to play in. Oh my gosh, yeah.
Well, it's nice to straightaway right. I've been saying quite a bit that I think it's a great left-hand hitter's ballpark.
It is.
Straightaway right. Fairly easy challenge. Left field, you can hit a flare fly ball and put it in the seats.
Yeah, and the way the bullpen comes in a little bit is very enticing if you're trying to hit those
right
gaps
center?
too. Yeah, as a left-handed hitter.
1-2 on Corcoran. If he reaches, Domingo Santana waits on deck. Right-hander Mike Morin working from the mound. Off-speed pitch, got him swinging. Couple of strikeouts, 10 on the night now for the Houston hitters. A 1-2-3-8 as we go to the bottom of the frame, all tied.
Randy Cunningham tweets us this photo. Little orbit puppy wearing the antenna there. Thanks for that. Remember to tweet your photo using hashtag CSNHFanPhoto for a chance to be shown in an upcoming broadcast brought to you by AT&T, guys.
Thanks, Julia. We appreciate it. And I can't imagine where you're even finding a place to sit down here in this yard tonight. Jam-packed. Not many Angels have sat down once they've had a bat in their hand. They have just continued to pound the baseball around. The Astros may be fortunate to be tied at 6 in this game as we move on to the bottom of the 8th inning. Joe Smith, the closer now for the Angels, loosing in their pen in left field. C.J. Cron leads it off in the 8th inning and takes a strike. Tony Sipp, the left-hander, getting loose for the Astros. Oh, 1 from Fields. There's that changeup. And he's getting some weak swings, half swings. That's exactly what you want to see.
Well, if the Angels scouting report's anything like mine, they know that Josh Fields doesn't like to throw that pitch too often.
The only thing I would say in watching Fields is you can detect when he's actually throwing it without looking at the baseball. He slows down a bit. This one fouled down the left side. And the ideal changeup comes out of an arm speed that looks every bit like the fastball. So that's the big key that I would tell anybody is find a grip that you trust and throw it as hard as you can.
Yeah, because big league hitters do recognize when a pitcher slows down on an off-speed pitch.
Cron 2 for 3 on the night. When the Astros got him, they got him with a double play and a great play by Kike Hernandez. That was a ball that easily could have been a base hit, creating more offense for the Angels, but instead it turned into a double play. And a good call here as Cron holds it back. Fields, pitcher number 4 on the night for the Astros. And he picks up the strikeout. So out number 1 here in the 8th inning brings up 9-hitter Chris Iannetta.
That grip. Change up and MLB.TV Premium, the #1 live streaming sports service, is celebrating 12 years. Join the millions of subscribers. Watch every out-of-market game live in true HD on over 400 devices. Visit Astros.com for details.
Chris Iannetta 2 for 3 on the night. Fields gets ahead. Iannetta has 5 bombs. It's been Keuchel, Zide, Downs, and Fields for the Astros. For the Angels, Wilson, Rasmus, and Morin. This game right here in Anaheim, the only thing going on in the major leagues. Other games, the Dodgers were in Colorado and defeated the Rockies 9-0. Oh, that changeup coming in big, a couple of strikeouts, and Josh Fields has found himself a new main squeeze for the moment.
That's good to see.
Two outs on strikeouts. Back to the top with Cole Calhoun. Calhoun came on as a pinch hitter in the 6th inning, taking over for Colin Cowgill, who was 0 for 3 and scored a run tonight. Bo Porter coming out to the mound, apparently not pleased with the strikeouts here in the inning. He will go to the bullpen once again. And as the Astros do it to bring on their 5th pitcher of the night, we are tied at 6.
And Julia Morales with you, and it's a good one. It has seen 4 home runs, 3 of those for the Astros tonight. Those picked up by Chris Carter, John Singleton, and George Springer. Angels got one out of Albert Pujols, and the Angels have just been pounding away as they keep slamming hit after hit on the night. Dallas Keuchel had a rough evening, but left with a chance to win. That's been taken care of now. The bullpen unable to hold that lead. Josh Zeid allowing a run, and now it's up to Tony Sipp. Couple of outs here in the 8th inning, nobody on base as Sipp takes over.
Fantastic numbers for Tony Sipp. 24th appearance. Left-handers hitting under 100 against Tony Sipp.
He'll face the left-hand hitting Cole Calhoun. Calhoun grounded out as he came on as a pinch hitter in the 6th inning. And again, this is 5 pitchers now for the Astros tonight. Game 2 of the 4-game set. Tomorrow night, it's Scott Feldman against Hector Santiago of the Halos. Big swing and a miss by Calhoun. And then in the finale of the series Sunday, that's a 2:35 start. Colin McHugh goes to the mound against very tough right-hander Garrett Richards, who I think for a lot of us maybe feel has the best stuff we've seen among starters in the American League this year.
Electric stuff.
0-1 pitch grounded right side. 2 big hops for Singleton. He'll call off Sipp and go to the bag himself. A 1-2-3 8th inning. To the 9th we go, tied at 6. $15 minutes could save you 15% or more on car insurance. Visit us at geico.com or call 1-800-947-AUTO. And by Deliver Us from Evil, in theaters July 2nd. That's Angel Stadium, and a great place for a ball game. Have not heard if it's a packed house tonight, but it's very close if it's not. And we've got some Astros fans here at the ballpark. Don't know if Julia's caught up with them. Right-hander Joe Smith, the closer, now comes on to work this 9th inning. He'll face the 8, 9, and 1 spots. Domingo Santana was scheduled to lead it off. The Astros will go to the bench, and left-hand hitting Alex Presley grabs a bat.
Plays Joe Smith. Got that 10 save last night. Doing a good job with his patchwork bullpen that Mike Scioscia's working with here in Anaheim.
So it's been a wild ball game. Both teams scored a run in the 2nd inning. The Angels jumped on top 3-1 with 2 runs in the 3rd. The Astros put a 5 spot on the board in the 4th inning. The Angels put another deuce on the board in that frame. And 1 more in the 7th to tie it at 6.
So that's where we stand here in the ninth. L.J. Hose waits with a bat on deck. And then it'll be Jose Altuve at the top of the order. Chopper's foul. It's 0-2 as Presley pinch hits.
Yow. There's something you don't see every day. That jumped up and bit that left hand. Don't mess with your grip.
See that 75 sticker there on the front of the uniform in memory of that great speech 75 years ago by Lou Gehrig. Caught looking is Presley, so that's out number 1 here in the ninth inning.
Left fielder, number 0, L.J. Hose.
And both teams wearing those patches tonight. There it is. July 4th, 1939. Lou Gehrig with the "I consider myself the luckiest man on earth" speech, and it was a great one at Yankee Stadium. One out for Hose, who hits a ground ball on 2 hops to third. Freeze with the play, and out number 2.
Second baseman, number 27, Jose Altuve.
Jose Altuve has had a long 0 for tonight. 0 for 4 with a strikeout. Caught looking in the 5th inning. Jose leading the league in batting average, in hits, in stolen bases. But that batting average sliding from 347 down to 343 with the 0 for 4. Ground ball right side. Kendrick to his left to make the play. And a 1-2-3 ninth inning. And big news is Altuve is 0 for 5. To the bottom of the ninth we go in a 6-6 tie. That means Mike Trout leads it on.
In this situation before, been swinging a hot bat. We saw it all throughout June, and this one was a walk-off winner against the Tampa Bay Rays.
Well, Mike Trout is not afraid of the big moment. And that right here at Angel Stadium. George Springer has moved to right field defensively as Alex Presley takes over in center. So Springer got a chance to play a bit in center tonight. And now back in that familiar spot in right. Well, here we go, bottom of the ninth inning. Mike Trout leading it off against Tony Sipp.
So this 9th inning appears to be all for Tony Sipp. Bullpen for the Astros quiet. The Angels pen getting some work in. And the first pitch. Taken for a strike. Trout looking all the way. "15 Angels hits tonight, 8 for the Astros." And Sipp brings it. Strike 2 is called. 0-2 the count, right on the outside edge. Mike Trout didn't like it and barks at the home plate umpire, Angel Hernandez.
Rightfully so, if you ask me.
Yeah, that's outside.
My goodness.
Hernandez seemed to just take it from Mike Trout. As Tony Sipp started to come set, Mike Trout asked for timeout.
Stay tuned for Astros Postgame Live, presented by Jack in the Box.
The 0-2 pitch. Hammered left center field and deep. Back at the track, at the wall. There it goes. Another walk-off home run from Mike Trout. And he does it with 2 strikes on him. And the Angels will walk it off here in the bottom of the 9th inning. 7-6. The Angels win it. Mike Trout with his 20th home run of the year. And the Astros have now lost 5 straight. And the frustration for Bo Porter and company has to be enormous.
Well, big players step up in big situations, and Mike Trout relishing the moment to step up and help this ball club out, having himself a hot June Player of the Month. Continues it right here in the early parts of July. And the 4th of July fireworks in full effect for the Anaheim Angels in this offense. Tony Sipp has been so great, and that's not a terrible pitch. That ball down in the zone, but Mike Trout's swing pretty conducive to go down there and scoop this ball out, drive it out of a deep part of this ballpark here in Southern California.
Again, number 20 on the year for Mike Trout. And you knew it was going to be a tough inning with the 2, 3, 4 hitters for the Angels. But Mike Trout, really that guy you just can't afford to see at the plate with a big swing. And for Trout, just his first hit on the night, but he makes it count. So again, the Angels walk it off. Mike Trout, the hero. 7-6 the final tonight. 5 home runs in this ball game on the 4th of July, and number 5, the big one of the evening. We'll be back with more.